Look, a seismic night as well at Villa Park. Spurs blew the relegation race wide open for the first time since August. Tottenham securing back-to-back wins to move out of the drop zone. This is how it sounded live on talkSPORT.
The race for the Champions League and the fight to survive. The box comes back out to Gallagher, who strikes it brilliantly on the edge of the area, low and hard, and Tottenham Hotspur lead at Villa Park after 12 minutes.
Tottenham have started the game really well, and it's a brilliant first touch from Gallagher, and yeah, top strike.
We won this game for the qualities of the performance without the ball, with the ball, for the spirit we have shown.
El's got it once again. His left-footed cross is a brilliant one. Richarlison is there. He's headed the ball in. Roberto De Zerbi runs onto the pitch in celebration. The Spurs club motto is to dare is to do. Well, for most of the season they haven't done anything, but they're doing it now.
We must believe in the players, and we must use different players where they are someone they are being injured.
Flick towards goal. A header by Buendia goes beyond the goalkeeper. Tottenham concede, 96 minutes on the clock. There eventually is the full-time whistle. Roberto De Zerbi said, "We aren't relegated yet." And he was right. Aston Villa 1, Tottenham 2.
Coisty, brilliant win as far as Tottenham are concerned.
Yeah.
What do you think about the criticism of Unai Emery and the 7 changes?
I don't think it will bother him one bit, and I don't think it should bother him one bit, because with the greatest respect, Jeff, all he's interested in is the trials and tribulations of Aston Villa, and that's all he should be interested in. So I think he's probably looking at it. He'll be fairly comfortable without being overconfident that he can get that Champions League place, and he's put more eggs in the basket of the semi-final, which is on Thursday night against Nottingham Forest. And I think he is 100% within his rights to do that.
Yeah.
Because I also think it'll be interesting. I think the Leeds go to West Ham last game of the season.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be interesting to see the Leeds team. You can argue they're playing well. They'll play with a little bit of freedom. You can also argue that lads coming into the Villa side have got something to prove. So I don't think he's got a case to answer.
Yeah, no. And look, if there's any finger pointing to be done, the fingers should be pointed at the Villa players who were out there wearing the claret and blue shirts and let themselves and the club down.
Very disappointing, weren't they?
Really disappointing.
Yeah.
Look, but from a Spurs perspective, brilliant. Not in the
100%.
bottom 3. I'm delighted to say that joining us now, Spurs podcaster, host of The Last Word on Spurs, it's Ricky Sachs. Morning, Ricky.
Good morning, Ricky.
Good morning, legends. How are you both? You okay?
Yeah,
excellent,
good, thanks,
mate.
Ricky. I'll tell you what, never mind the Aston Villa team. Tottenham did a job on those who were out there. Are we seeing the De Zerbi effect already?
Well, look, I think you've seen that back-to-back games. I mean, he said that we're not relegated yet, and we've been playing like we still believe we're in this chance. I think last time I was on here, guys, I was very downbeat about our chance of staying in the division. But look, I mean, that Spurs win, for all the Villa trials and tribulations about the team there, that was without Xavi Simons, Romero, Kudus, Solanke, Kulusevski, Odegaard, Davis, Vicario, Maddison, still yet to play. So Spurs are missing a whole host of players as well. And look, credit to De Zerbi. He's come in. He has been a breath of fresh air in the pre-match, the post-match press conferences. And he believes, and I think he's given every Spurs fan out there genuine belief that we can still get out of this crazy, crazy situation that we find ourselves in. It's hard. I shouldn't ever want to sit here and be celebrating staying in the division, but it's what this ownership has really dragged us down to. But look, credit to all the players, credit to the manager. And if we play like that for the rest of the season, we will be okay, which I can't believe actually saying, given what this season has brought us so far.
I was going to say to you, Ricky, I mean, I do remember the last time you were on, and you were a little bit down, and that was I felt that was totally understandable. What do you think watching yesterday? What do you think was the big difference?
I just think De Zerbi's got in there out and just given the players real, genuine confidence. And I think the thing with him, he's a coach, and you can see from game to game, coaching-wise, they've been coming on leaps and bounds and having that time on the training ground, reaching every player. I mean, it's not like Mawani. He's not scoring goals, but he just seems to be really getting better game by game. And, he had that moment with the crowd yesterday at Villa Park. I've got to just say the Spurs fans were absolutely amazing. Villa Park is one of those iconic grounds in the UK. Of course, everyone knows it being such a historic Premier League ground, but Spurs fans took it over. It felt like a home game at times. Tottenham fans were amazing. Villa have got their own things to sort out and focus on in terms of European commitments. But, yeah, look, De Zerbi has been a breath of fresh air. He really, really has been. I joked and said he deserves a statue if he keeps us up. I mean, the guy has just gone in there and been a real breath of fresh air. I can't praise him enough for how he's got a tune out of players that you thought, Conor Gallagher being a prime example. I think a lot of Spurs fans were concerned whether he was going to, really turn around what looked like a difficult Spurs career. At one point, I think he had more managers than points at Tottenham, so he's been brilliant. The goal he scored was again a
Beautiful.
symbolic of his period at Chelsea, where he wouldn't have tried that a few weeks ago. So credit to Zerbi. I mean, again, guys, it's unbelievable. I can't quite believe we're getting out of this, because I think at some point in the last few weeks I was trying to think to myself, what is the Championship going to look like? But suddenly we're believing again.
Yeah.
Crazy game, football. Crazy game.
Yeah, well, it's interesting you're believing it. So point ahead of West Ham. Got a better goal difference as well. You've still got a tough run in, haven't you? Leeds at home and Chelsea away and Everton at home.
Yeah.
How confident are you feeling, Ricky?
Well, Jeff, I mean, you probably know as well as me, Spurs have had one win at Stamford Bridge in 30 years. So the key, I think, will be, boys, if we go to, obviously, into that game on Leeds Monday night, we go and beat Leeds at home, which Leeds, look, they're not going to be an easy team. Leeds have been very good this season under Farker. I think we win there. I think you've got West Ham's fixtures to come. They've got Arsenal, of course. They've got Newcastle. So I think, there's an opportunity. If we beat Leeds next week, then I think psychologically, I think we are all but there. But look, it's the Premier League, and there's no doubt there'll be more twists and turns. But if we do our job, play like that, like we played, of course, against Villa, we'll be okay. Which I can't believe I'm saying here, guys, given how I felt a few weeks ago.
Well, do you know something? Ricky, I was going to say to you, mate, do you know the one difference, and you tell me if I'm wrong, the one difference I can sense, not just in yourself, but I'm watching the game yesterday, I can just sense something that hasn't been there, I don't think, for weeks and weeks, and that is a little bit of belief.
Yeah, our spot on. Yeah, we've got belief. I mean, it's crazy because I didn't thought we had that a few weeks ago after we could see that 96th-minute equaliser to Brighton. But, I mean, that's, again, the praise for Zerbi, because it's mad when you think if it wasn't for that 90th-minute equaliser at Brighton, we would have had 3 back-to-back wins with Zerbi. We'd literally half the first team out injured. So he's just been remarkable. He came through the door. It just shows you what a brilliant coach he is. He has got the players playing some of the best football that we've seen at such a long time at Tottenham, given, I say, the injury situation and the form that we've been in. And, yeah, players, bit of confidence, bit of coaching. Isn't it amazing what football can do to them?
Brilliant. Ricky, enjoy the rest of the week, mate.
Enjoy, mate. All the best.
Appreciate it. Cheers, lads.
Don't forget Spurs against Leeds, another huge game for their relegation survival next Monday, live and exclusive on talkSPORT from 8. Martin in Lim says, if I was a West Ham fan, I'd be absolutely furious with Unai Emery. The integrity and authenticity of the Premier League has been seriously dented. You know what, Martin? It always has happened, and it always will happen, I'm sure as well.